Thank you, Chairman and members of the committee, for allowing me to speak today. This is a very important bill for my community. Private First Class Holly Magoo is a local hero in our city of Taylor, and this bill introduced just recognizes her contribution and sacrifice that she made not just to our community but to our country. Holly grew up in the city of Taylor. She graduated from Truman High School, which is now Taylor High School, and enlisted in the Army directly after graduation. On January 31st, 2004, at only 19 years old, Holly was the first female soldier from Michigan killed in the war in Iraq, which in a makeshift bomb exploded near her convoy near Kirkuk, Iraq. She was part of Company A, 4th Forward Support Battalion 4, 4th Infantry Division out of Fort Hood, Texas. So locally, of course, she's a hero of ours. She has a memorial at our Taylor City Hall. However, I believe that this another honor here from the state level is appropriate. This bill would rename a portion of I-75 in the city of Taylor after Holly, and her legacy will continue to be a daily reminder for everyone of the sacrifice she made to our country. But I don't want to take up too much time. I know that her mother is here via Zoom, Paula Love, so I'd like to give her the opportunity to speak as well. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm the very proud mother of fallen Specialist Holly Magoo, and I never pass up an opportunity to share a little of my brave little soldier with others. When my daughter Holly graduated from high school in June of 2002, she was the A Company commander in the JROTC program. The first time the subject of Holly joining the Army came up was in the 10th grade. We argued about it until her senior year. We couldn't keep her room clean, yet she was going to go to boot camp. After a long battle with her, she made me realize how selfish I was being by making me eat my own words. She reminded me that I had always told her that I didn't care what she did, as long as she did something and she gave it her all. She was right. I also realized at that time just how much joining the Army meant to her. In April of 2002, I signed the consent form. She was only 17 years old when she entered the delayed enlistment program. Holly had a difficult time being accepted because she had a lazy right eye, and her vision in that eye was very poor. It took a lot of opinions from multiple ophthalmologists, then the long wait for the Army to make a decision. She was very upset at the thought that she may not be able to join, but in the end, she prevailed. She left for boot camp August of 2002. My family and I attended her boot camp graduation at Fort Jackson. We were told by her drill sergeants what a great soldier Holly was, how hard she had worked, and the many soldiers that Holly had mentored through their difficult boot camp. Her JROTC training had really helped her because she already knew some of the expectations. She was the only person that I know who thought boot camp was fun. Holly continued at Fort Jackson through her AIT training as a light wheel mechanic. After a short time in her job training, she was made the assistant class leader. She was very proud of her accomplishment, as was I. In January of 2003, Holly was assigned to the 4th Infantry Division, A Company, 4th Forward Support Battalion at Fort Hood. She received her deployment orders in February. That same week, my father, husband, and I headed to Fort Hood to see her before she left for Iraq. I didn't know it at the time, but that was to be the last time that I would see my daughter. After a 20-hour flight and 22-hour convoy, the 4th ID arrived in Tikrit, where they settled in one of Saddam Hussein's palaces. This was when I nicknamed Holly, my brave little soldier. I told her if I were in her shoes, I would be lying in the middle of the desert, curled up in a ball, crying, "I want my mommy." She thought that was funny. Holly was in Iraq for 5 or 6 months before they had the means to shower or restroom facilities to use, the everyday things that we take for granted. Yet she never complained. I asked her how she could stand not showering. She said, "It's no big deal, Mom. We all smell the same." The only complaint I ever heard from her was that she had too many fathers in Iraq telling her what to do. From what I've been told from Holly's commanding officers in Iraq, that was because she would get into trouble sneaking into vehicles that were going on raids or missions. She volunteered for everything, including the 60-mile drive to Kirkuk to pick up parts that fateful day when she and 2 other soldiers were killed, January 31st, 2004. I was told that she wanted to be part of everything, and she didn't want to be left out of anything. If Holly had stayed at the palace, just doing her job, fixing light-wheeled vehicles, she probably would have remained safe. But that is not what Holly was about. From her commanding officers, I know that she assisted on many raids and missions. She wasn't supposed to, but she did it anyway. And that was what Holly was all about. I guess I didn't realize exactly just how brave she was when I nicknamed her my brave little soldier. During a raid of a building that contained children, Holly and another soldier taught 15 kids in the building how to play Duck, Duck, Goose. She said when they were done playing, the kids were calling it Duck, Duck, Alibaba. While she was telling me the story on the phone, you couldn't help but hear the excitement in her voice. She had for a short time brought big smiles to these small children's faces. All I can hope is that those children remember those American soldiers who brought to them a little happiness in a world of such disparity. A short time before Holly was killed, she was talking to her dad on the phone, and they were talking about Holly's goals. He asked her if she remembered the goal the two of them had talked about when she first got to Iraq. She said, yes, my goal is to help people. He said, Holly, you are only 19 and you have already reached your goal. Think of all the people you have helped in Iraq. She thought about it for a moment and said, you know, Dad, you're right, I have. I only heard Holly cry once in the 10 months that she was in Iraq. I received a call after Holly had attended a memorial service for PFC Ana Laura Esparza, Holly's roommate and battle buddy. Ana Laura was killed when a convoy was ambushed by a roadside bomb outside the palace gates. It was during this conversation that Holly told me that I was to remember she was doing exactly what she wanted to do and that she truly believed in what they were doing, and that, I'm sorry, I lost my place, that if she died, it was for a purpose and a cause she truly believed in. Those are the words I will remember for the rest of my life. Holly lost her life while on a mission to Kirkuk to pick up the needed parts for equipment. There was a convoy of 5 in the mission. Holly was driving the vehicle that contained the Mark 19 on the back. Of course, that was the Humvee that was targeted. When she rolled over the IED, the insurgents waiting patiently in the field detonated the bomb with a cell phone. The mangled frame was all that was left of the entire vehicle. The Humvee was thrown 200 meters from where the explosion occurred. 3 lives ended instantly that day on the road in Iraq. From the day that Holly was killed, I've been afraid that she would just be forgotten. That was my biggest fear. For a mom who will forever have a broken heart, having a portion of I-75 to honor my daughter, Specialist Holly Magoo, would mean so very much to me. Holly is deeply missed, but will live in my heart forever. I'm very proud to be an American, and I'm also very proud of Holly. She will always be my brave little soldier, my hero. God bless you.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.